If you ever feel like your kitchen could be functioning better, you could have better habits and systems in place, then today's video is for you. Today I am spending the day baking in my kitchen and chatting with you about different ways that we have systemized our kitchen, how to spot a system in your house that's not working and how to fix it, and discuss how a few simple habits can make all of the difference. Hello there, sweet friend. Welcome back to my farmhouse kitchen. Today I am making 4 apple pies and 6 banana breads to take to our local church fundraiser this weekend. So my kitchen is busy and buzzing, and it got me thinking about how it's easy for me to get up and do something like this. Okay, sort of easy. We've got 4 kids roaming around here, but for the most part, what I'm referring to is how simple my kitchen is to use in a situation like this because I have good systems set up in my home. While things are baking here in the kitchen all day long, I thought we could just chat about our kitchen systems, ways to simplify, streamline, and keep everything more organized so that we can function better here in the kitchen. The first thing I like to refer to when it comes to any kind of system is the proximity principle. Am I taking any unnecessary steps? So one great example is that my dishwasher is right here beside all of our main dishes and silverware. So it makes unloading the dishwasher really simple. I don't have to walk anywhere to put away the bulk of the items coming out of the dishwasher. And then of course, when you're loading the dishwasher, which I do multiple times a day, I try to keep it empty in the morning so that it's not the bottleneck all day long, but put like items together in the dishwasher, and then that way you only have to touch it once when it comes out to put away. Always put an extra trash bag in the trash can itself to eliminate extra steps back and forth for those bags. Just batching your work, kind of like we batch cook, we just do multiple things ahead of time. Now in my kitchen, I love to have a good coffee station. That is just my happy place. So what I've decided to do is put our vitamins next to the coffee maker. It's not always the most aesthetically pleasing thing, but I'm one of those visual people that if I see it, then I will take care of it. So maybe I'll make it more aesthetic in the future, but I wanted to shorten the steps on this today and put my coffee closer. I don't know why all summer I have been going all the way over to the cabinet to get a coffee pod out and then walk back to the coffee maker, but that was a broken system for sure. So I'm going to fix that today, but I wanted to mention that having the other vitamins and things next to the area that I'm drawn to anyway helps me to actively work on that healthy habit of taking more vitamins and giving them to my kids as well. So one of my favorite kitchen systems is my drink station, and of course it involves coffee, but I have found that the best kitchen systems also reinforce those healthy habits we're working on, like staying hydrated. So I've been keeping electrolyte sticks nearby as well, so that when I want a little pick-me-up or something fun to sip on in the afternoon, I can reach for those instead and stay hydrated. My favorite one right now is the Ultima Replenisher, who happens to be the sponsor of today's video, and I'm gonna show you more about them. I just have loved every single flavor. I can mix in my bland, unflavored extra vitamins and things that I want to add before a workout or something into these too, which just makes it that much more fun to get in everything that I need. But Ultima Replenisher on its own has all the electrolytes your body needs, and they're safe for the entire family. Even pregnant and nursing mamas can take these. Definitely a great way to stay hydrated and a lot more fun than just drinking plain water. Just talking about Ultima Replenisher right now makes me want one, so let's make a drink. Okay, how to get some ice. The hard part is always deciding what flavor. I'm gonna do the mango dragon fruit one. They've all been good though. This one will be a really pretty color though. Now another thing I love about Ultima Replenisher though is that there's no artificial dyes. They have beautiful colors, but it's all completely natural. Let's go get some water. Now we give it a shake. Those are so good. And they feel really refreshing. They're so good, in fact, that my kids also love to steal them, so that's just a warning. And the whole family will like them, so buy extra. So in the past, I've also thought, well, I'm really good about drinking water. I stay pretty hydrated as it is. I don't really need any of this. But the thing I like about Ultima Replenisher is I know I'm getting the vital 6 daily electrolytes within my water too. I think sometimes we can drink a lot of water, but still not get all of those little nutrients and electrolytes that our body needs. So putting this into my routine is not only easy, but I enjoy it, and it helps me to go ahead and drink the water because it's so delicious. So I feel like I'm getting a treat, but I'm also just helping my body stay more hydrated at the same time. If you would like to give Ultima Replenisher a try, I have a link for you in the description box below. Be sure to scan the code and head on over. And thank you again to Ultima Replenisher for sponsoring today's video and sending me these delicious electrolyte packs. Now, as I'm putting the back stock of the coffee away, I had this idea about the barcodes because in today's day and age, I do a lot of ordering in bulk online for my groceries of things I keep back stock in, and you can simply scan barcodes today and add it to your cart. It's pretty much like the modern day easy button, if you guys remember those commercials. It's pretty easy at this point, but I got to thinking I could put those labels on the shelf or like where that piece goes in a pantry, or you could also create yourself a file folder or a clipboard for those easy staples that you want to reorder weekly or monthly. Now, if I'm being honest, most of the time when I run out of something, I just scan the box before I throw it away and I'll add it to my cart so that I know I need to restock it. But the other part of me thought sometimes things get thrown away and I don't always have the barcode. It would just be handy to know what usually sits in that area because I am working on in my mind so far, hopefully physically in the next month, working on creating a backstock, more of a grocery store backstock in my basement of just those things that we always want to have on hand. And coffee, for me, definitely makes the list there. But I'm just always thinking through things in a way that we could systemize it and make it to where anyone in our house could order groceries, or it's almost like running a business. I like to look at my home that way, and not to sound like, I mean, I want my home to feel cozy and inviting, and I don't want everything to run on autopilot and that sounds really like robotic, doesn't it? And our homes need to feel cozy, but that's the thing about habits. When you have habits and systems set up, it doesn't feel that way. It just functions, and then it leaves you with extra space to bake the pie and light the cozy candle here in the kitchen and spend time with family. So don't look at systems as a way to make everything so perfect and robotic, but more so to improve your habits, the function, and the flow throughout your home, but particularly in your kitchen. I can't talk about habits without quoting James Clear, but he says, "You do not rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems." And I find this to be so true in so many areas of life. So, better systems, better habits, and better outcomes. Now, one great system that I have that has nothing to do really with all this is freezing bananas because I have to hide them from my kids, honestly. We had an abundance of overripe bananas at some point throughout the summer here, so I froze them and I just freeze them as we have one or two starting to get freckly before the kids get to them. And then that way I can pull them out and make a bunch of banana breads all at once. We're gonna pop those in the oven and I'm gonna show you how yummy everything looks when we get done. But I thought we could also talk about meal planning because if there's any kitchen system that is most important, it has to be a good meal plan. Now, one thing I've just lately been doing is putting all of that information into a simple notes app on my phone. It's nothing fancy whatsoever. And then as I use meal ideas, I just copy and paste them into like a master list in the bottom so that on a week when I really have no inspiration whatsoever for dinner, I can just go in there and grab a staple meal and plan it out. And then I also use my recipe binder for those tried and true favorites. This week I am planning a white chicken chili, and I decided this based on some ingredients that I already had on hand that I needed to use up. I feel like our fridge has gotten away from us the last few weeks, and I haven't been cleaning it out regularly. That is one system I struggle with a little bit. I usually meal plan every week, and I try to first look at what we have. I've hit on this in another video too, and I will link below a printable that I made for you guys that kind of shows the system of how I meal plan. But I go through, I clean out the fridge, and then use up what we have in the next week's meal plan. Now, one thing I've been trying to do is create little bins in my refrigerator that have those staple items that I tend to always keep on hand. And for us, there's always this dairy bin here at the top. I always have plain Greek yogurt, usually a flavored Greek yogurt, and cottage cheese. Those are always things that I have. I also have snack drawer here at the bottom with all the extra cheeses. And that makes it really easy when I bring new groceries into the house. I know exactly where they're going to go, and I can easily see just by opening the door of the refrigerator whether or not I need to reorder those groceries week to week. Now, an extra step in this system that I always struggle with is getting a label on it, because it never fails that no one else in my house knows where things go. So to keep things more organized, I do need to label those bins for the future. We are going to be hosting a few friends this weekend for just some appetizers and drinks and things, and I wanted to make sure I had my caddy restocked. We enjoy hosting little get-togethers at our house, but often it's very impromptu, and so I want to make sure that we always have paper plates and disposable forks and spoons and all the things you need ready to go at all times. So I bought this little caddy this summer, and it's really been a handy thing to have stocked. In the past, I have kept everything in a basket that's like a back stock here above the fridge, but as you can see, it's not very easy for me to reach. I have to get a chair to get it down. So if we already have friends over, I don't want to be climbing on top of the refrigerator to try to find things, to help serve them dinner. I don't feel like that's a very welcoming thing to do. Like, hold on. Let me climb the fridge here. So I'm going to reorganize this today with just the back stock of mostly party supplies and birthday things. I also keep a back stock of a ton of paper straws for seasonal things. So those extra things can go up there, and then the things we might need on a whim, I am going to keep in here. I also have like a lifetime supply of plastic knives. Don't think I ever need to buy those again. So we'll just backstock those and then fill the caddy for this weekend. I'm hoping to find a place in my cabinets just to store this out of sight whenever we don't have company. And then when we do, all I'll have to do is pull the caddy out. Now, the creative part of me wants to also get really cute plates and maybe colorful napkins and change it out seasonally, so I wouldn't necessarily have to hide the caddy, but it could just be part of my home decor. And then I am finally going to clean up this area up here. I don't know why we had every lunch bag out. I guess because I've been taking meals to my husband in the field, and we had picnics this summer, but everything goes to die on top of this refrigerator. So this is definitely another broken system that I just want to tackle today while we're up here. I've got to clean this thing off and reorganize a little bit. Okay, if you have a troublesome area in your kitchen like I do here on top of the fridge, I think we first have to ask ourselves, what keeps ending up here that doesn't have a home? For me, it is all of our charging cables. My kids, this was organized, but my kids have taken out all the dividers and all the cords are everywhere again. So I need to find a better system that is more fail-proof when it comes to our cords. But it's like those little hints that we can pick up on. What are the areas that are frustrating you most often and why? And I think when we start to troubleshoot those systems, we learn something about ourselves. And because you can organize things a million times. I mean, if you're a mom watching this, you know this. You can organize things until you're blue in the face, but if it doesn't work for you and your family and your personalities, it's just going to get messy again, so you're basically wasting your time. Fix the system before you just organize to make it pretty. I am preaching to the choir today because I am just making it pretty and sticking all of those cords back in there because I know the kids are going to make it a mess again, but that is a system that I'm still troubleshooting in my mind on how I'm going to redo that to make it more efficient for my family. Their efficiencies here in the kitchen are stacking items vertically instead of nesting them inside of each other. This works great for all of my baking pans. I actually have a divider built into this cabinet to hold it up in the middle. And then also in the drawer where I keep all of my containers for leftover food, it's so nice to put the lids on them. And then when I go to grab a container, I'm not digging around for the lids every single time. You're saving yourself a lot of time and energy at night when you're trying to clean up the kitchen by just having those things ready to go. And yes, they will take up a little bit more space with the lids on, but I think having fewer items and keeping it organized this way still saves me my sanity. Now, again, the most important kitchen systems are the habits that we have that actually help us maintain them. So one thing for me that's always a big struggle, I guess you could say, is having like this drop zone. There's always things, because we live here, there's always things we need to attend to. There's paper coming in from the mail, there's maybe some gifts we have or shipments that we need to work on, and there's schoolwork. So there's lots of things that come into the drop zone. But having a good routine and putting the kitchen to bed every night and maintaining those systems and having that routine is what helps me keep it working. Having a good bedtime routine for your kitchen is what allowed me to get up this morning, make all of these pies, and make my home smell amazing. This is hard because I just want to sit here and eat all of this now, but it's not for us, unfortunately. Please put your best kitchen habit and kitchen system in the comments below so that we can all chat about those. I love having a community sharing their ideas. If you want to hear more about paper systems and home systems, I have another video for you here. I'll be sure to link it. And thank you again so much for stopping by today. I hope to see you again very soon.